So pardon me for sharing this information. This was done in 2017, and it talks about what we were doing back in 10 years ago. 10 years ago, the Philippines had 82% of textile imports, 18% in exports. In garments, we did 87% for exports and 13% for imports. I share this because our framework has not changed significantly, only in terms of our ability to now export. From that time to 2017, the numbers were reduced in half. And so if we were exporting 87 million pesos worth, it went down to like 42 million pesos worth in 2017. So the premise for this is really, we wanted to show to you that value perspective, not the value framework. And if you want to go up the value chain, we are no longer in the cheap labor component where garment manufacturing is very prevalent. We do not have the ability to increase or improve our ability to do garments because our textile industry is also nondescript, meaning we do not have many commercial textile manufacturers. What this means is that we only really produce 8% of what we use, of what we wear. There's an ASEAN study that says that we require 6 kilos per person per capita. The Philippines produces 0.5 kilos. This was, again, dated. It's about 10 years ago. That has not improved. In fact, it has reduced or declined, or it has gone the other way. But we do have a lot of natural textile fibers, and this is where we have more value to add. And the reason that we want to focus on material or textiles as an input to garment is because countries of origin also require two-step process. If we take a look at this very simple graphs, these were taken from export manufacturers for achieved value cotton knit shirt and achieved value pair of denim jeans. And you see that fabric or material was already more than 50%. What this implies is even if we increase our export ability, if we have to spend more than 50 cents to buy our requirements to be able to export, then our local value add is rather low. So this is where we were looking at this soil to skin transformation, materials to finished textile product. And we identified a number of gaps. We have a lack of scale in the fiber supply. Yes, we do have more than 500,000 in hectareages all over the country, but they're literally on the ground. We have a very limited fiber pretreatment capacity to be able to now convert this raw material on the ground into a spinnable material or a material that can also be used for non-woven industries. We have a gap in the spinning capacity. The entire Philippines is about 200,000 spindles compared to Bangladesh, compared to Bangladesh with about 7 million, Vietnam with 7 million, India, China, upwards of 40 million. So this is not a place where we want to play catch up. We really want to now create a distinctive product that will be in its own niche. It doesn't have to compete or go after what is such a huge difference in spinning capability. We also have a gap in, in our natural dyeing scale, if you wish to go into natural dyeing, and in our handloom weaving capacity, although we do have commercial people who can do the weaving or industrial or higher scale weaving, but our handloom weaving capacity is doubly affected by both two things, capability and capacity. But what I wanted to really present is a framework. For us, it is important for us to have a point of reference because we may be doing a lot of wonderful things, but if those wonderful things do not complement the bigger picture, if we're looking at, for example, at the Sustainable Development Goals, it has to really address similarly. So these compelling reasons for us that we're going natural is really looking at the ecology, the economy and equity, or people, planet, and profit. And the things that we're doing, I will not expound on the things that are presented in this slide. It's simply just to indicate that we were taking a look at how one particular project or proposal that we're undertaking complements or addresses or resolves or answers each of these particular areas in our considerations for this framework that looks at people, planet, and the profit. And the main objective is it has to address all. And what I like in this particular scenario is if you look at the item 1 on the rightmost corner, lower right-hand corner, it looks at the profit. Essentially, it tells us if it does not make money, then it's not going to be a sustainable solution. That has to be one anchor. And if it does not have the respect or the acceptance of a community, neither will it have good foothold. It will not gain much. And if it then also does not respect the laws of nature, it will also not similarly pay out for us in the long end. So I wanted to just share that in this perspective, the goal that we're looking at is how we can have local value as the goal in the things that we are undertaking. And that local value, ideally, if it is possible, would best be done in the very location where the transformation process happens. Transformation can, of course, then be best done in the location where the raw material, the local skills, the talents, the artisans are already making use of what is available to them. This is, of course, what we're calling as, it's our town, our product. You use what you produce what you use. This is a soil to near skin, which shows us the value transformation from the bamboo pole all the way to a material that is ready for spinning. That's why it's from soil to near skin. It is not yet quite a fabric. So if I may hand the floor over to Dr. Julius Leaño, he'll share with you some of the things that we're doing at the PTRI of the DOST. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and everyone on board.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. So this is some of the details of what we are currently doing in the Institute. Basically, also following the outline of the hearing. First, on the countryside development, I think I cannot overemphasize the Tele-Pilipinas concept, which we have been, the director and the Institute have been ushering and shepherding as the framework by which all of our interventions on the regional, provincial, and community level is anchored. This technically means that there's a sense of self-sustainability of the different textile producing communities. So part of this one is the bamboo textile fiber innovation hubs, which we have identified all over the Philippines. These are just those that we have mapped out, particularly because we have engagements with them already, Abra all the way to Bukidnon. And this year, we already have started the verification of the technology in Maragondon, Cavite. That's the Terra Verde farm. And a little midway will be with Nagilian in Ilocos, in La Union. So technically, this is the bamboo textile fiber innovation hub complementing later on the other regional efforts that we have. Second is the natural textile fiber innovation hub. Technically, these are for banana, bamboo, banana, abaca, and pineapple, and have identified communities and locations from Apayao all the way to Davao del Norte. And the years are specified here, specifying which year are we getting in touch with them. So for Apayao in particular, they are part of the project that's pending before the DOST on the establishment of another spinning facility in Kawayan, in Isabela, Ilagan, Isabela. So complementing this one as well is our efforts on the Philippine silk, or what we have tagged as Seda Pilipinas. This is basically an upgrading of the capability that we have. So there will be two reeling facilities, one in Kalinga, another one in Misamis Oriental, that will be up and running. We are about to go there to commission and jumpstart it. We have upgraded facilities as well as infrastructures in Misamis Oriental. Two throwing facilities. Yung throwing facilities when you try to make thicker yarns from the very fine silk yarns, which we have, which will be established in Bago City, Negros Occidental in Uisca, and another one in our center in Misamis Oriental. And we are basically have completed the genetic profiling of the 17 silkworm, which are commercially being used by PTRI in all its silk efforts. Right now, we have a total of 15 hectares in new mulberry plantations in CAR and 2.5 new hectareages in northern Mindanao supporting these activities. And we have engaged 13 new technical staff, basically those working with us in PTRI from the genomic side, yung nasa Philippine Genome Center natin, all the way to our staff deployed in CAR and in Misamis Oriental, and have also initiated engagement with 90 farmers. A lot of them are in northern Mindanao. And then we have the establishment of the Handloom Weaving Innovation Center. So this has to be distinguished from a handloom weaving center. This is an innovation center because they are actually equipped to do product development, design development, and the interpretation as well of whatever they have as far as the existing designs of the community. And we have identified here the different interventions, and there are a lot more. These are just the weaving centers. And this one was provided to you by PTRI in the previous meeting, outlining the other interventions we have in the different provinces. Also with this is the establishment of the natural dye hubs across the Philippines. And we have identified here, kung nakikita natin yung logo, this is technically the location of the different dye hubs that are established and will be established all over the Philippines until 2026. So this is basically yung parang atado niya para ma-manage din natin yung dami at saka yung funding requirement nito. And they are all consolidated in the Natural Dye Center, which is in PTRI. This is basically the control, the control hub of the research, development, and innovation of natural dyes across the different hubs all over the Philippines. So these are just some of the colors, just to excite you about the variety of colors and diversity of colors that we have found out from the different facilities across the Philippines. And what we are doing now, funded by the DOST, is actually the standardization of the color. Ibig sabihin nun, when we have a color from the north, hopefully we know how to tune that and express that color with a certain dye source from another location. So this type of standardization will be a huge help in standardizing and elevating the industrial readiness of natural dyes for various applications, not only for textiles. Also, we have the Co-Build Text program. Ito naman po is an ongoing R&D program, technically using textiles for construction. So we basically are bringing this up because this is hinged upon not only the use of textiles for other applications other than wearables, but also because this has also some repercussions and effects on the efforts on cultural preservation, specifically dun sa mga restoration activities. Ang idea po kasi nito is the textile technically becomes your form, so you are more free architecturally to tune your composite, yung cement composites mo for restoration purposes. So this is the idea of the project. This is now being implemented, funded also by the DOST. Project 1 is working on that, the free form application, and Project 2 works with the internal naman, yung loob ng ating mga buildings and ating mga structures, which technically uses also textile materials, improving the internal quality of staying inside. So this has acoustic shielding, even thermal shielding, to name a few. As part of these projects. And then we have the zapatos, or the shoes and footwear accessories R&D, which we are spending now before the DOST for funding in 2023. These are interventions for the shoe industry, ranging from the sizing system, which is the Project 1, and the making of computer-aided approaches to shoe lasts, etc. And the second one being the sustainable textiles. Ito naman yung we try to pull in Leaño, for example, those that are producing footwear, and use and integrate the use of local textiles for Philippine footwear. So ito yung kanyang idea. And we're working and we are interfacing with the Philippine Footwear Federation and our teams from the DTI. And lastly is we are moving towards a 3D warp knitted fabric. So medyo technical yung fabric, but this technically goes into the insole. Yung para medyo meron siyang cushioning effect. And this technology is one of our new offerings as far as the knitting technology is concerned, also going to footwear. And then this one naman is our efforts on LCAC, the new maricultural potential of our silk activities in Misamis Oriental, particularly in Claveria, Misamis Oriental. So we have been in touch and we've been working with our uniformed personnel on the ground and how silk could possibly be used as a launchpad of interventions for these communities. So very heartwarming that we find relevance of what is otherwise very glamorous silk material to the LCAP, to the wisdom of the LCAP program of government. Now, on cultural preservation, we have this one and have noted the endorsement of the House of Representatives, particularly the Committee of the Digitalization for the Philippine Handloom Weaving Industry. This is basically, Mr. Chair, about the Digital Weaving Registry, which we will be working very closely with the NCCA. The digitalization of weaves, ibig sabihin, mapoprotect at mako-conserve na natin sila ngayon by means of digitally rendering them and putting them into a database. Technically, they will be immortalized already in the language of weaving. And last one is the provision of our covert markings so that we can authenticate textiles even in the marketplace. So this now is we're now awaiting for the implementation of this project, hopefully by next year. Yes. So, and this is just the details of the projects under this program. And again, we note the support of the House of Representatives for this initiative. Then we have the different researches that we did with the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, particularly in the use of fabric support. So yung Belgian linen po yun yung ginagamit nila for painting support and restoration sa NHCP. What we have demonstrated here is the use of cotton abaca fabrics as a possible substitute for Belgian linen in the restoration of different culturally relevant paintings and fine arts with the NHCP. Also, the use of natural dyes, dun din pa rin po as painting restoration for painting. So we have been working with National Historical Commission of the Philippines on this specific project for the last 2 years. We completed it a year ago. And then we had this initiative about a decade ago, the Neo-Ethnic Philippine Textiles. If we just note, this has also been picked up by then Senator Loren Regarda as part of the initiatives of this program. Ang idea po nito 10 years ago was that we just wanted to jazz up yung ating mga local weaves. Of course, very conscious about the cultural side of it. And we have coined it under the Neo-Ethnic Textile Initiative and have defined it accordingly. Ang naging implication po nito are legislative measures that were proposed by then Senator Legarda in the Senate, particularly in the Handloom Weaving Innovation Act, and also this one, the use of neo-ethnic textiles for the academic regalia of state universities and colleges. So I think the archives of the House and of the Senate would bear the details of these initiatives. These are just some of the outputs. This was already almost 10 years ago. This is just to just up and use, yung ating local yarns and dyes for the development and rendition of these fabrics from the north all the way to the south. And we work with a fashion designer based in the US for this one. And again, under the design prototypes naman for RA 9242 as being the one na nagbibigay ng volume motivation for the development and pushing of the fabrics that we have, we continuously usher and shepherd the mainstreaming of the RA 9242 in tandem with all other government agencies and the private sector, and hopefully be able to move forward with this in the coming years. Next is we are also pleased to let you know that there's already an NC2 for handloom weaving, which the PTRI has made representations with TESDA. So ang palagi po namin itong anecdotal story is yung tubero nga merong certificate, bakit yung weaver walang certificate? So we had made representations with TESDA on this and have already progressed. It's already on the tail end of deploying it all over the country, and this technically handles the upright handloom weaving. So upright handloom po yung concern niya, and we hope that this one will be operationalized as well, so that our weavers would finally have a mark or a certain level of confidence with respect to the craft that they're doing or the things that they are doing. Over and above, as we mentioned as well, Mr. Chair, dun sa education part, because DOST-PTRI has a lot of technology being made public goods. So this forms part of our technology transfer and our training courses, from dyeing to yarn to fiber processing to yarn manufacturing, etc., etc. And this forms parts of the education component by which we train our stakeholders, especially for those that are already classified as public good. And dun naman po sa mga nag-a-adapt ng ating mga technologies, this technically falls under our technology transfer. So particularly lang for natural dyes, we just wanted to highlight na there are already 121 trainings conducted all over the Philippines in 28 provinces across the country. So this is just a summary of those interventions for natural dyes. Also, we have publications. Number one would be the Katutubong Kulay Project. It's quite an old publication, but it's a good one for natural dyes. There's a Gampol 1, Volume 1 and 2. This is the documentation of all plant sources in the Philippines that could be used for natural dyeing. The Baghari, this is a coffee table book which we made in 2008, technically showing the outputs that was part of the Neo-Ethnic Initiative. Ito po yung Aklan fabrics na, for example, you could see a very subtle yellows and blues already. So this is part of the Baghari publication. We'd be very happy to share as well copies of this to the committee. And lastly, our technical publications and Samay, medyo technical po ito, but these are the research outputs of the Insitute, all forming the educational contribution of PTRI with respect to textile science and engineering. Then textile technology skills training is also available. In the past, we have been handling yung spinning training ng ibang mga dinidispatch na OFWs to Taiwan. So before they go there for their as OFWs, parang may immersion sila sa PTRI. Just recently, we also have another one on spinning again, and this one is an offering of the Insitute, part of our regular offering. Our technology transfer modalities, as I said earlier, training yon, and then there are other activities being used to transfer and cascade these technologies. As a matter of fact, the one that we have used, for example, as a tool are these brands which we are enforcing for natural dyes and for the masks that we developed during the pandemic, the rewear mask. So nagrarally din po tayo under these brands in order to associate them with the technologies that comes with them, at the same time with the Insitute. I think Mike is here, and we also have a technology business incubation program. We also discussed this in the previous session, and we have been working with him on the development of this product as well. And extension, ito po yung normal and regular namin ginagawa sa consultancy services in all aspects of textile manufacturing. This is just the interface of our projects on the fibers and bamboo and yarn manufacturing, our vision actually, and we hope that we will be able to put up the Regional Yarn Production and Innovation Center in Region 2, particularly in Ilagan, Isabela, will hopefully commence this year, and hopefully by January it should be up and running. And then this is just a listing of our training and workshop, our stakeholders conference, which the good chairman has also graced this year, and numerous S&T exhibitions of the DOST and PTRI as well. Our social media accounts are also up, including our natural dyes and textiles e-portal. And yeah, the textile gallery is also open. I think this was mentioned also in the previous session. This textile gallery is actually a maker space. So it's actually designed to become a convergence point of designers, of people who want to ideate and be able to interface with our technical staff. So yung question, I think last meeting natin, yung merong designer who wants to like start something, I think this is the space that's created for that. And we have the technical backing, technical staff, and the technical requirements and made available from on the PTRI side in order for those ideas to become real and executable. And of course, the Textile Product Development Center, we also have mentioned this several times already, enabling the development of textile products. Particularly in this case, we have been working in the Philippine sizing system. And then, yeah, thank you very much. I think the director would have something more to add. Thank you po.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much for allowing us this. I cannot underemphasize or overemphasize the fact of the Regional Yarn Production and Innovation Centers. Dr. Leaño shared with us the locations for the natural fiber textile innovation hubs, as well as the bamboo textile fiber innovation hubs, the natural dye, the handloom weaving, but all of those are integrated by the spinning facility, because if you don't have that, then there is nothing to go downstream. So this is really the part of technology that really brings together what we have available to us in terms of natural materials and how we can transform them into a doable product at the end of that in downstream applications. So marami pong salamat, Mr. Chair, and all the members who are listening to us today. Thank you very much for the opportunity.